have availability, people come and collect it if they want.
Yeah, when it comes to the omnibus article, I mean, that's in a state of flux up until we vote on it.
Right, but in the process of changing the meeting dates,
Right.
we'd be now changing the submission of the warrant and the mailing. See, that's what we can't do by what we've done the past 2 years. What we've done the past 2 years is, you know, we've stuck to the current rules, and then we've just delayed the meeting.
Right.
You know, we've adjourned the meeting to
But
a
as
date
far as
certain.
adequate notification to the general public, they've been notified as to what actions and what we're going to be deliberating over a town meeting.
Right,
So
without
we've met the letter of the law, even though it isn't
Haven't had the
detailed.
Right,
detail.
right.
Doesn't have the detail, but it follows the rule of adequate notification to the public. So I think we've been able to, and again, cut back on cost, obviously, because we've far fewer pages we're mailing out, with a budget that's
Mhm.
in a state of flux.
And of course, the other item, which I think Sean also had on there, was the town report, right? Do you have the town
I don't know if I have
report
the
No.
town report on here.
on?
I had it on mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing, applies.
Yeah, but right, they go hand in hand, I think.
Yeah, again,
Any
with
printing
the town
costs or
report,
mailing
we haven't been
costs?
printing as many as we are supposed to, but we haven't run short of the demand.
Right.
Yeah.
And there isn't a requirement to mail that out either.
No,
No.
it's not mail, it has to be available.
Available. I think there was a number, right? There was a quantity or provide percentage of residents, is that
Yeah,
right?
there's a large number
Yeah.
that are
I think
required
they've
to be available.
adjusted it over time based on what's
Demand.
left over.
Demand.
I'll just continue here quickly, try to make sure we stay with the 8 o'clock. Oh, sorry, Jeff,
No, it was covered.
you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chapter 3, this is the elected town boards and officers. He particularly picked out Section 8, which is the Community Planning Commission section. And he pointed out in paragraph 3.8.3, the commission shall be responsible for the development annual updating of a comprehensive plan. Sean doesn't recall there ever seeing a plan. And
Oh,
There
yeah.
is, definitely.
The comprehensive master
By,
plan?
by
Yeah.
CPC?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, this says, but this says, the charter actually says annual.
annual,
I
right.
guess I haven't been around long enough.
I've
to
seen
see-
your plan that you're talking about, but I thought they were talking about something different too. In here, they're talking about the development and an annual update of the comprehensive plan.
And you may do it internally with CPC, but
Yeah.
I've just
There may
never.
not be any updates to it, so you don't see it.
Okay.
Okay.
That might be what it is.
That's why I wasn't sure it was a different plan too, because there was an annual update with it. I'm going, okay, that must be a different plan.
Excuse me, just for a quick second, just want to ask you a quick question then. So we have a 10-year plan that we update annually, and then every 10 years, do we know when that,
If you have to go out and do it,
do we know when that date is?
well, 3 years from now. I've done it once. So, yeah, it's maybe 2012, 13. I'm not quite sure exactly. Find out quite a lot, next
Your
meeting.
timing sounds about right, you know, I can remember.
But I was on the board for a couple of years before we did it. Bob did it. Bob was still working with us, Bob Rogers. And we finished that. And that was public hearings and all the rest.
Again, these are just ideas. Hopefully, we'll get to that point where we're meeting in a room, we can discuss them and debate them and poke holes through them. But, so if I could just continue?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. The other idea that he would like us to consider researching is in the same chapter, but in paragraph 3.8.4, where it talks about the commission, the CPC, may employ a professional director and so on and so forth. Staff so employed shall function under the direction of the commission chairman. And he made the same comment I did. Any such employee should report to the TA, not the commission. So he's not saying that the board should be, not be elected, they should be appointed, he's not saying any of that, he's just saying that the staff, the town employee staff should report under the. Now, does anybody have the history why that is organized? Maybe you know, Steve, why that was that way, why it was set up that way? There has to be some reasoning years ago why we did it. I've been looking at it.
We had some pretty strong personalities on the planning commission at the time that saw themselves as an autonomous elected board, which they are. Felt as though the planning aspect of things should come out of the planning
But the staff,
commission, and the staff should report to them, because
Had a
that's
feeling
their
that's what it was.
responsibility and their area of expertise, and that's what the charter called for, and Therefore, why would they have their staff reporting to someone else? You know, it's like having the superintendent of schools report to the town administrator.
Well, yes and no, I mean,
You know,
it's,
statutorily, the superintendent has to,
but,
sorry, the business manager, you know.
well, the way I see it,
So, that's what it was, as far as I
That's-
recall, but.
That's what we
No,
thought it
thanks
was.
for the
That's what-
education,
You know,
appreciate the
I had
education.
guessed that's what it was.
No,
Just didn't make
well,
sense
I
to
mean,
me that there'd
think
be a-
about it from the point of view of the CPC saying, well, you know, this individual reports to the town administrator, and he's got some hotter project than we have, and therefore, we can't get things done.
Yeah. And
I mean, that's how they may have looked at it back then.
And again, I just,
What's evolved
And
over
that's
the
not-
years,
Our
the
issue,
relationship has evolved over the years where it's very much melded into the operations under, you know, town hall, you know, and not so much independent. And there's a lot of,
I was surprised to see that in the town charter. We have actually one town employee who reports to an elected body, doesn't report to the town administrator, just
and again, it,
didn't make sense.
we obviously need to give the opportunity to meet with the CPC and have this
Oh,
discussion.
absolutely.
That's all, it's just an idea.
But the other thing is from a philosophical standpoint, is that if you have a planning commission that's of one mind, and a board of selectmen which hires and fires the town administrator of another mind, then the influences of the board of selectmen override the other elected body, which isn't necessarily what should be happening. Again, you would hope that the public's representatives on the planning commission represent what they foresee as,
Mhm.
you know, the plan for the town. Conversely, whatever our responsibilities are, it's reflected here, school committee, likewise. So that if we had the hired staff of the planning commission reporting to the town administrator who reports to the board of selectmen, then there could potentially be a conflict. They just wanted to keep it separate.
no, and if you took, another example of what we're looking at, is you took, and if the CPC was in their own building, right? And, you know, it's an elected body running its own thing, you know, outside of town hall, it would look differently, right? It would be different.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the issue of, you know, trying to, because it's located in town hall and you're trying to apply uniformity across the employee base, right, is why this subject is up
That's all.
for
Just
discussion
more for
anyway,
operational,
right?
right,
Yeah.
just operations. It's just a basic operations discussion. For Chris, as the chairperson, a civilian, elected body, have to come in and sign time cards and be part of that operational process, just doesn't seem to make sense to me, so. But anyway, the last thing Sean had was in chapter 7.
Excuse me, but you're right, but that's right, it doesn't make sense, but from a policy standpoint, the planning commission can say, you know, the planning administrator will operate under the, you know, guidelines by all the town department heads. Timesheets will be submitted through the finance director's office, or the town administrator's office, and they could just lay it all out that way from an operational standpoint. In years past, that, there's been a tug of war there, but it hasn't always happened, but it's
Just an
come around,
example.
it's evolved.
The last one is in chapter 7 under financial procedures. And Sean references the effective in chapter 7 under section 1.1, effective in 1971, the fiscal year of the town should begin on July 1st. He's made a note that consideration should be given to changing the fiscal year.
But that was a state mandate
Yeah,
across the board when Prop
Was it?
2.5 was passed, yeah. Because we were on a calendar year. And in fact, the elected officials that were stuck in that, and in fact, it occurred to me, I had an extra 6 months on one of my terms of duty as a result of it. But I thought that was all, you know, mandated by the legislature when they made all these changes.
Yeah, everything's gone to the fiscal year,
Yeah.
July 1st, to tie
Now,
in.
the DOR
with
does
local
everything
aid.
on that basis. I don't see,
I think it actually causes more trouble
no, I don't think you can change it.
with state funding and everything else.
Well, that was the reason why I brought it up, and we never know. We go into even June time meetings, we don't know what we're getting. It's like
Yeah, that's a
shooting
different,
blinded.
well, that's why we're moving down.
Right, I know,
Right.
but we still don't know, even
Well,
moving out to June, that we don't know.
that's
what
true,
we
but-
receive, so.
It is true. That's all Sean
And
suggested.
by the
It's in
way,
that context I
there have
raise
been
that.
years that the state didn't resolve their budget until July, so.
Oh,
December one year.
December. They were
December
doing
one
they were doing 1/12 budgets for 6 months of the year.
Yeah, it was 2001 or 2002.
I'm not sure you want to stop the discussion on this subject and get into the 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we probably should
Or
do that, to people here
We
for
can
that.
suspend this and discuss it later.
Okay, we'll pick this up.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have our consideration of sale of town-owned land, and we're talking about 5 parcels. And it, on track here. As we jumped ahead.
All the green stuff.
This is all, yeah, no, I know, I'm just trying to. So I'll read the public notice, and I'll commence with opening the hearing. The Board of Selectmen shall be considering for sale the following parcels of town-owned land on Monday, August 2nd, 2010, at 8 PM in room 14 of Town Hall, 235 North Street, North Reading, Mass. Any parties interested in the potential sale and subsequent private ownership of these parcels should plan on attending. And I'll read the map, parcel, square footage, and location. Map 14, parcel 119, 27,000 square feet on 196 Main Street. Map 14, parcel 140, 1,500 square feet on 206 Main Street. Map parcel 14, map 14, parcel 141, 4,750 square feet on 196A Main Street. Map 43, parcel 53, 27,409 square feet on 4 Juniper Road. And map 60, parcel 42, 274,428 square feet on 7 Russ Lane. And I think we'll proceed by talking one at a time. Or the first three are
Together.
basically together. So we have input from a number of different organizations. Greg, you want to walk us through some of this, or?
Sure. Start off, it's map parcels 119, 140, and 141. You'll see that there's ownership. The parcels were acquired, as you can see, from an individual who did not pay taxes on them. You'll see that they do lay out along Main Street. You have a letter that's been introduced by attorney representing local business in town that would be interested in those parcels. And you have comments that have come back from all of the municipal departments. First one starting with the building department, indicating that lot 119, 27,000 square feet, is mostly wetlands. There's a billboard that's located on the property. The billboard is owned, leased by the town. As a result of that lease, the town does receive an annual rental payment of $12,000 annually. There's a substantial value, unrealized value in that lease, totaling $60,000. So, concern of administration is any contemplated land sale affecting parcel 119 that somehow would disturb that relationship. It was a result of a lot of hard effort that we were able to secure a lease or a license agreement on that parcel, and we certainly don't want to see it go away by virtue of the fact that someone is interested in acquiring a portion of that. So Also note that from the DPW, that they don't have any particular comments or concerns relative to that property.